Hello everyone, my name is Sunshine and welcome to the step-by-step tutorial of how to root hair on a silicone doll. To root hair on a silicone doll, you will need mohair. This is a basic 101 class, so it is best to use mohair if you are new to rooting hair on a doll, especially a silicone doll. Human hair and synthetic hair is much thicker, so it'll be a little more difficult to get the hair the way you want on the vinyl or silicone doll's head for a beginner with the needle. For a beginner, you want to use a 40 gauge or a 42 gauge needle. I myself have worked with 42 gauge and I am now going to use a 40 gauge needle. Okay, here we have a full body silicone doll. It is a preemie size doll. It came bald, but fully painted. So I have started rooting the doll's head with mohair. Mohair is just simply animal hair, and typically mohair will be alpaca hair or some type of goat hair. The hair that I am using is alpaca hair. It has been treated to clean it and to dye it and to straighten it, and this is a wavier hair. So I will show you what I have started so far on this doll. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining this tutorial here on how to root your silicone doll's head step by step. As you can see, I already have some hair rooted on the doll. Now, it's not going to look this way once it's finished because you're going to cut the hair and you're going to style it and you're going to wet it with water. Now, in order to get a nice look for your doll's hair style, you want to start at the bottom. It doesn't matter if you start at the top, at the front, the side, or the back, but whichever side you start on, you want to start at the bottom. So if I were to start on the side, I would want to start on the bottom of the side. As you can see here, I have already started on this side and I have started at the bottom and worked my way up. And for the front, I have started at the bottom of the front and started to work my way back or upward, as you can see. And so if I were to lightly brush, make sure you, for a silicone doll, because the hair cannot be glued, you must very, very, very lightly style the hair. Thank you very much in advance for all the hearts and all the likes and for everyone that is able to join this tutorial. So as you can see, she has a bang and she has a side. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to begin your doll's hair. Okay, so I've done some of this side as I showed you, and I've done some of the front. So some tips that you want to remember is that you must wash your hands before you start rooting because our hands carry oils. You don't want your doll to have oily paint because it could damage the paint and it could also make your doll look more like a toy doll in the store, which is not as very realistic. So wash the oils from your hands, whether you have combed your hair for the day or you've rubbed your hands in your hair or you've eaten something that's oily, whatever it is, Just wash your hands before you start. Now you can hold the whole bundle of hair and root that way. If you do that, you'll probably get a lot more hair in one hole more than you want, unless you want your doll to have really thick hair. For a newborn, they typically have thin hair, right? So it's probably a good idea to have just a small amount of hair to start. Now, when you root your hair, you want to put the needle as close to the edge as you can. It doesn't have to be at the very edge, but you want to make sure that the needle is as close to the edge as possible. When you are at the very bottom, though, it's okay to maybe start in the middle because your hair at the bottom or for your bang will most likely be short. So if I were to show you this, I would put it here with half and half so that when the needle goes in, it will have the hair short there. So I will only show just a bit of the front so that you can see what I mean for your bang, where at the very bottom, that hair is going to be shorter. As you work your way up, the hair is going to be longer. So every time you work your way up, you're going to have your needle get closer and closer and closer to the tip of the mohair. But when I'm working this way, I'm going to do it. I just put half and half. And you're going to lay your needle flat so that the hair lays down. So I'm sticking it in the center of the mohairs. I laid it flat and my needle is flat. For those of you who joined last night, thank you for joining again. Hello in advance. Thank you very much to all of you that are sending me messages. I will definitely read them. I do appreciate them greatly. So that is a quick demonstration of getting the hair short for the very bottom part. So now we're going to start right above the ear line and work our way up. And I'm going to put her on a pillow to make sure that you can see her well enough. Let's see here. And to make it easier for me to work. And you can do this for your own doll in your own doll collection, or you can do this if you want to sell a doll. So again, you want to start at the very tip of your hair, but when you're at the very bottom, you want to go ahead and start maybe halfway. So that way that part is a little shorter once you pull it out. So I'm at the very bottom, just above the ear line. Thank you very much for all the positive comments. Thank you for the encouragement. And thank you for any questions you may have. I will definitely answer them. Thank you for all the hearts, or if anyone has a gift, thank you very much for that as well. If you don't have a gift, that's okay. Don't worry about that. This is just a tutorial to share with anyone who is interested in this hobby, whether for fun or to have a little business. So as you can see, remember, so that the hair lays flat, you want to have the needle flat, as flat as you can do it. And to make sure that your doll's hair looks as realistic as possible, you want to try and move your needle in different spots while you're staying at the very bottom, so that way not as many hairs will go into one hole. Because if there's a lot of hair in one hole, it will look more like a doll in the toy store. You want it to look as very realistic, is very close to what a real baby's hair would look like. So I have some hair in there now. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the kind comments. I really do. That's so nice of you. So there you are. You lightly pull so that you can see that you have some hair attached to your doll. And that's what you're going to do. And when you pull it, you want to try your best not to get the same spot. Now, because I'm using strawberry blonde, it's going to be kind of hard to see after I pull the hair away. But each time I lift the hair, you'll be able to see my progress. But once I let go, it'll be very hard to see because this is strawberry blonde hair and it's very light. You can see the little pieces of wispy hair there. And she does have an earring. Okay, so I'm going to work my way up this side. And guess what, you guys? It doesn't take very much effort to do this. It's very easy because you don't have to glue it. It's not going to be very much work at all. And also, because it's very squishy, it doesn't take much effort to push the needle through to get hair in compared to a vinyl doll, which is made out of plastic. So just keep working your way up, and remember, when you're down low, you want to start halfway, and as you work, you want to stick the needle where it's halfway on the hair, and as you go up, you want to get the needle as close to the tip of the hair so that the hair is longer up top to hang down over the shorter hair. And remember, keep your needle flat. And as long as you know, you can use your finger as a guide to make sure that you stay within the lower part. So that way you don't have to focus so much on every little spot that you're sticking the needle. You don't have to be looking all the time. Unless you're new to it, I suggest you do look at every poke that you do. You can take a piece of paper for a guide or your finger. So, but if you're using your finger, you definitely want to watch where you're sticking because these are very sharp and they do hurt very, very much. But once you get the hang of it, you'll find yourself being able to talk, being able to look up while you're rooting because you'll see how very simple it is to do. It's a very simple thing like crocheting or knitting. Okay, so I have some more hair. Now she may be looking shiny, but she's not. That's just the lighting that's giving her a little shine. Thank you very much for those lovely hearts. As you can see there, I have some hair pulling away. Now, another tip as well. When you have your mohair, it's going to come in little packs and it's already going to be combed out for you. Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining. Now, even though it's already going to be combed out for you, you're going to want to hold the hair very tight at the top, and you'll want to take a comb, a very thin comb, and very lightly comb out any tangles, which I have already done for my mohair. As you can see, I have a lot of loose hair that's either knotted or it just wasn't lined properly with the rest of the hair. So it's going to come in the bag and it's going to look as if it's all in place. But trust that you'll want to give it a comb. You'll want to comb out the hair before you use it because it can get tangly. It will get tangly. Okay, so I'll keep working my way up. If anyone has any questions, I will answer those questions. And thank you very much for any super chats or any gifts. I do appreciate it. And thank you very much for any kind remarks, any pleasantries that you have. I do enjoy purple and pink, as you can see. And just know, as another tip, babies have very fine, very sparse, spaced out hair. So you don't have to have so much hair in one spot, unless again, you want your doll to have a lot of hair. Some babies are born with a lot of hair, very thick all over. But it's all on preference on how much hair you want your doll to have. And remember to try your best to keep that needle flat as much as possible, or it will stick up in a frizzy type of style, which is okay too. Some dolls, some babies do have hair that sticks up frizzy, right? Let's move over this way some. Hi, Nevaeh. Sure, I remember you. Hi, Emma. Hello, everyone. Make you a doll, Chloe? Well, we'll see about that. Keep your needle flat. Remember not to poke too much in the same spot. You don't want it to have too much hair in one spot. Lightly, lightly, lightly pull it out. Remember, this is silicone and there's no way to attach the hair permanently because you can't glue anything. You can't hold it down. There's just no way. So you have to be very careful when you pull your patch of hair away from the hair that is rooted. Now this one unfortunately is not for sale. I do apologize. This one is my personal collection. I did receive this one from a doll show, and I decided to give it rooted hair. So, and for anyone who has seen my lives or watched my videos, you know that I have said many times that I love red hair. Red hair on a baby, red hair on the dolls, and this strawberry blonde hair is perfect. And you'll get used to however you hold your hair. It doesn't matter how you hold the hair as long as you don't hold it down too tight and not too loose. Um, but you want to make sure that you're careful to keep all the hair in the same line. My name is Sunshine. And I'm not sure if there's any negative comments in there. I might be missing them. So I want to focus on this tutorial. If anyone has anything that has nothing to do with dolls, that's okay. We'll just keep it pressing because we want to make sure that everyone has a chance and opportunity to see how they would root hair on their doll. So it's okay. It's not the traditional tutorial because we know that it's a public video, it's a public live stream. So others will be joining because they will be curious, they will be shocked, they won't understand what's going on in the video. So that's okay. Some people may want to stay even though it seems strange. They might really be super curious. There we go. And for anyone who is new, if you're asking those questions of what's going on in the video, I am someone who likes dolls. I like the dolls that look realistic, or I like cloth dolls. I like vintage dolls. I like to go to doll shows. And another important thing about me is that I like to dress up vintage style, Victorian specifically. I love wigs of different colors. So those are some things that you can know about me. I also like to sew on the sewing machine. I also like to learn different languages, which German is what I have learned from school, and Spanish is something that I have taught myself on my own. She's coming along nicely. And this doll has been named Jalea from another watcher in the live stream specifically. And the artist who painted this doll is from Canada. If anyone wants to know, I have not painted this doll and I have never painted any dolls before. Samaya, you have two dolls and someone wants me to hold the doll up. Now, sometimes you got to be a little careful because the hair can get tangled even while you're rooting. So you may want to, every once in a while, try to straighten it out. And once you start rooting, it's, trying to comb it after you start rooting, you might lose way more hair than you want to. Because it will start to get tangly, it will start to get uneven in the length. So if you do have to comb it after you've started rooting, just be very careful with how you do it. As you can see, I've got some hair that's already loose there, that's already balled up. It happens, it's just going to happen, especially with mohair. But mohair is the most finest hair to use. It's the easiest hair to work with, and it's the hair that's going to look very realistic. Although artists do use human hair, it's very noticeable that it's, hair that has been applied onto a doll, where the mohair, because it's so thin, and in this it could be also opinion, and it also could be the level of artistry. If someone is using human hair and they may not be at a higher level, it may not look as realistic. The hair looks real, but as far as making the doll look realistic with the hair can depend on the level and the type of human hair that's being used. And I feel something like a little something rough in this mohair, which I want to get out because it could cause some clumping if I root with that, and cause some knotting up if I try to use that and stick in there. So don't want to do that, especially being that it's a silicone doll and there's no way to go inside the head to undo anything without pulling the hair out. Okay, so I was able to get whatever that was or is. Okay. VO5 condition on your dolls. Thank you for that tip. I appreciate. Oh, on your little My Little Pony doll. Oh, okay. Thank you for that tip. I appreciate it. I see there's a little bit of back and forth in the chat. I apologize about that if there's a little bit of banter going on. All right, so I am working my way up towards the top, so I don't need to have it so much in the middle anymore, but I'm still not going to have the needle at the very tip of the mohair just yet. I want to wait until I'm at the very top of the side. It's coming along lovely. And the way that you can make sure that you don't get hair in the same spot again, you can, so what you do is wherever you're going to stick the needle, if I'm going to stick the needle in this part of the hair, I want to put that part of the hair above where I've already rooted to make sure that I don't poke where I've already done hair. So I want it in this spot, and I have to remember to keep my needle down. And remember, whether you are skilled or not, you may forget every once in a while to lay the needle down, unless you're doing a hairstyle that you want it to be sticking up a little more. If you have a specific hairstyle in mind. Okay. So as you can see, let me show you some results. Now it's looking orange, but it's really strawberry red. It's a bright strawberry red. I'm gonna go off camera for a second. It is very hot under the lighting, but you do need lighting, very bright lighting. Let's see here. Just a moment. There we go. Okay. Okay, we got some funny commentary going on there in the chat. And again, thank you very much, you guys, for the likes, and thank you for the super chats and the gifts. I appreciate it. And even if this is your first time here and you're wondering what the heck is going on, it's okay. It's okay if you have questions, concerns. You may find that it's quite interesting. Um, just think of it as this is like a peaceful time, a quiet activity. You know, some people like to sit and knit, they like to sit and crochet. Some people like to sit and do crossword puzzles. Some people like to put uh, like maybe a wooden house together or something. Some people like to paint a mural in their pastime. So you may find that, wow, you know, this is pretty quite crafty what this person is doing. If you check some of the other videos, you'll see the results of the work from artists that I have received dolls from, and they look quite realistic. So I understand the shock, the surprise that you may have for those who might be going back and forth with others. Thank you for the 100. I appreciate it. Hi. Okay, so even though I have some hair left, it's a thin amount there. So I want to grab some more hair to give myself a little bit to hold on to. Now, some artists, this is all that they may need while they're rooting bit by bit because they are doing one hair at a time to get it as realistic as possible. So that is when you know you're like a top tier rooter. And that takes a lot of patience. It takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours if you're going to root one hair at a time. It takes a lot of patience and it takes a whole lot of practice. So I myself am a hobby rooter. I do not root to sell. It's not to say that I will never sell any of my dolls. I do plan to do that in the future, but this is not a business for me. This is just a hobby for me. So there are people who sell these dolls as a business, so you will find that they are quite expensive. But if it's a pre-owned doll or someone who's just doing it as a really true fun hobby, you will find that they will charge way cheaper. Even if their doll is quite awesome, you will find that a true hobbyist that is painting and rooting doll hair on dolls may charge way cheaper than those who see this hobby as all that they do for their job. If they don't do anything other than this, they may be charging triple than what a hobbyist would charge. So So as you can see, I'm doing pretty good. And because I'm getting closer to the top, I'm not doing it halfway anymore. Now I'm doing it at about here. And once I get to the tippy top, I'll start rooting from the tip of the mohair. Remember to lay your needle flat. And try not to overlap. Remember not to overlap on your doll head. Unless, again, you really want your doll to have thick hair. It looks uncomfortable. Yes, rooting can be a little awkward. You have to hold the head a certain way, put the body a certain way. And sometimes you will find another tip. Sometimes you will find that once you're done with a side, that you see that you've missed some spots. All you do is separate the hair, wet it so that it stays out of the way. Just wet it with water, and that way you can fix any spots that you've missed. And when you wet your doll's hair, you want to try mohair. You want to try and stick to just water. You don't need to really add any hair products unless there's some sort of special concoction that has been made specifically for mohair. But you can pretty much get away with just using water and keep your doll's hair covered from any dust when you're not playing with your doll. The dust will break the mohair and dry it out. So when you're using the water, make sure that you use distilled water. Distilled water has been purified. It takes away any rust, any calcium out of the water so that it doesn't break your doll's hair. You don't want calcium or rust sitting on your doll's hair. Whereas our human hair, we can wash our hair. Well, I mean, if you're washing your hair in the shower, I guess you're going to get those elements in your hair. So as you can see, it's very easy, right? It's very simple. This is a very simple skill to pick up, just like no, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say just like crocheting or knitting because crocheting is more than just, crocheting is you really have to learn to do that. With this, you just take a needle, you just take the hair, and all you do is poke in a row in each section and go above that row and poke in a row in each section. Well, that's cool that you crochet. So you know that crocheting is very relaxing once you get the hang of it, right? So the same thing with this rooting mohair on a doll head. It's very relaxing, it's very simple, it's easy, it's basic. It doesn't take much effort at all. Even on your very first day when you start to root the doll's hair, when you just start off in your section and you go and then you move over, and then you go up to the next row, you're going to find it's very easy to do. And you're going to say to yourself, oh my, I don't need to ask anyone to do this to my doll's head. If you already have a doll and doesn't have any hair, you can just do this yourself. If you want to practice and you don't have a lot of money, go to the toy store. Get a very cheap doll that's made out of silicone, squishy. You can even just order a brand new $25 silicone doll online or go to the toy store, get it bald. If it already has hair, just pull the hair out, and then you just start rooting. Now, if you don't have any hair, you can just get some hair from from a doll that you don't really care too much about. Just cut that hair off or pull it out, and you can just use that to start practicing. Or if you already have a silicone doll that you don't mind to pull the hair out of that, you can pull it out and practice doing it yourself. And you can pull the hair out as many times as you want to practice over and over again. Remember to lay your needle flat, and you don't even have to go in very far. The needle does not have to go in very far. The skilled person who created this needle, she has the green on here all the way down to how far you will go. So if you're not sure how far to place your needle, get a needle that has coloring on it that gives the line of how far you stick the needle into the silicone head of where to stop. That's also another tip. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. So as you can see, it didn't take me very long to get almost done with just the side. Now, there's more to it though, because you're going to have to cut the hair to style it. You're going to have to wet it to style it. We'll show that as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love purple hair. And once you get the hang of it, you don't have to go 1, 2, 3. You can, do it as if it's just a doll for yourself. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. See, before I was doing like this, or you can just do like this. And like I said, once you get the hang of it, you can move your eyes away from what you're doing. And you don't have to hold it down too hard. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the hearts and the likes. I appreciate it, you guys. And for the gifts too, if those people are still here. Now, mohair will cost you anywhere for a little patch, a bundle of hair. It will cost you about as low as $12 to $20 up to about $30 for a bundle or pack of hair, of mohair. And if you're concerned about, how much the hair costs, you can get the cheaper grade of hair, because even the cheaper grade of hair turns out quite nice if you know what you're doing, or even if you don't know what you're doing, it still turns out quite nice. And it may be the type of hair that bunches up, but as long as you wet it each time, it will go back to looking nice. And you may have to wet it each time, but that's okay. See, my hair is starting to get a little unravelly here. So the hair that I had before, let's see, I'll start with some more. Here's my other batch of hair. Does the hair bundle do the whole head? It depends on how big or small the head is. Because this is a preemie doll, the bundle most definitely will take care of the whole head for you. And the bundle may have, okay, so the pack of hair may have three separate rubber band bundles, if you want to say. If I use the word bundle, I don't want to confuse anyone. Inside your pack of hair, you may have three individually rubber band hair. So in the bundle, you may have three, you know, patches of hair that are rubber band each. So I guess it depends on how you look at what you consider the bundle. Do you consider a bundle one rubber band roping of hair, or individual roped bands of hair inside one pack? But it will definitely take care of a preemie size head. Now, I will say that this mohair that I have did not come in a pack, in a bundle. I did not buy this hair. This hair was already on another doll. It was on a cloth doll that I received from a lady who does OAC dolls. OAC means that the person created the entire doll. They created it, the whole body out of cloth. They shaped the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and they made it look completely different than any of their other dolls. It will never look the same. Even if they made it the same sculpt, it's not going to turn out exactly the same, because it's being made by hand and it's cloth. Um, she did the hairstyle and everything. But I used that doll, and I didn't buy that doll to do. I didn't buy the doll to cut the hair off. I collect cloth dolls as well, OAC dolls, and I've had these OAC dolls from this specific artist for years now. But I decided to use the hair, and not very much of it, as you can see, to root the hair on this doll. Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you, Pink Rosie. Now, there's lots of artists out there that are very kind to do these types of videos. Thank you so much for the hearts as well. Thank you, Bubblegum Loving. I like your channel name. That's very cute. Yeah, there's lots of artists who share their knowledge, they share their skill, they show you how they root. So it's also good, a great idea to watch a few, at least three different artists, to see if the skill is pretty much the same way across the board. If the technique, I should say, if the technique is pretty much the same across the board, you'll see that some artists may hold their needle a little differently. They may start in a different spot. They may hold the hair differently. They may have more tools. They may have a lamp specifically for doing this. They may have different tips on how to care for the doll hair. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Twin Mom. So I still had past the ear. I thought it'd be a good idea to show that to you as well. So I went back down to the bottom and started in the middle. It truly is a lot of fun. Hi, Leah. Hi, Layla, if you're still there. Hi, Alyssa. Oh, that's nice, Cammy. It's going pretty good. I do see a tiny spot that's in a corner there, in between the two spots I just did. Thank you for all those likes. Hi, Junebug. I don't sell, I mean, I have sold a very, very, very small few of my own collection dolls, and I have given away some of my dolls as well. I do plan to offer some for free in January. But again, like I've said before on previous lives, you do have to be a member in order to get a free doll, which it's 99 cents a month to join, which you do not have to stay a member in order to get a free doll, but you do have to be a member so that I will know that you are a real person, so that I will know that you seriously want a doll, and also because you will have to pay for shipping, so you do have to be a member if you want a doll for free. And again, you do not have to stay a member once you receive the doll. Now, if you're under 18, though, you do need to get permission from your parents as well. So as you can see, I do not recommend not watching what you're doing with the needle, but as you can see, I was able to take my eyes off the needle. But remember, it is very sharp. And remember to lay your needle flat. And try not to overlap. This is a silicone doll. Did I mess up the title? I thought I put silicone in the title. Oh, it's okay. No worries. One moment. Yeah, some people, when they join the live, they're so excited by what they see, they may not realize what it's about, because they want to immediately want to see what's going on here. Yes, I try to make sure that I put the word doll at least in the title so that people will know that they are joining a doll live at least. I don't always put what type of doll though in the title, so that's why I wasn't sure. Oh, I must have forgotten or something. But, okay, so now I'll show you a little bit of that. So as you can see, now it just looks like a big orange blob of mess, right? But now you can see she finally has some hair and it's strawberry blonde. And then you're going to take distilled water, which I have here. Thank you, Lippy. Okay. And I have a very light brush. Well, before I do that, I'm going to try my best to very lightly comb it first. You can use a regular comb for your hair, a regular, very skinny, thin comb that you would use for your own hair. It does not have to be a doll comb. And there's some hair there that may have already been on the bottom here. Okay, so then we want to get it wet. This will help to make it look a little more realistic, a little more styled with the wetting of it while you're still rooting it. Because you don't want to get discouraged and think, what is this blob of a mess? Now, her hair is not going to stay long. I do have hair scissors to cut it. Now, I'm not a hairstylist as far as with scissors, but I will try my best to style it. Now, I did have some darker red hair that I had put in the front there, which I'm going to overlap with the bright strawberry blonde red hair. We'll see. I'll have to explore with the different reds. Now, every time you do a section, you can wet it and give yourself an idea of how it looks before you start on another section. Thank you for the 100. And then put a little hat on her. Let's see, let's brush the bang down some. Let's see. So this is where you would have to do the cutting for the bang. You want to be really light over the paint work as well. You don't want to scratch up the paint work. And that is a step-by-step of how you root your silicone doll's hair. And she will be completed this week and pictures will be shared. So that's it, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.